Hey everybody, and welcome back to Split Couch Games. I'm Scott.
And I'm Ben, and I'm still dying.
He's still here though. He's still alive. If you were worried from last podcast, he's not dead yet. But
I'm not dead yet. I can dance and I can sing.
anyway, we're gonna touch on a topic that could ignite
A flame war, and that is totally what we're going for. So
That
everybody
is-
argue in the comments.
That's not what we're going for. Please, just be nice and everything. Okay, so at E3, it was announced that Rocket League is coming to. Maybe it wasn't announced that Rocket League is coming to the Switch, but
It was.
Rocket League is. Is that the first time we heard that?
I believe so.
Okay, sure. Either way, and it's going to be cross-compatible with Xbox and
And
PC.
PC, yeah.
Which is cool. And Minecraft is also coming to the Switch and cross-platform with everything. And actually, Minecraft itself is going to be cross-platform with or cross-play with every other console/device except for
Yeah, that part
PlayStation.
still kind of boggles my mind. Like, we can get to the PlayStation bit in a bit, but
yeah,
the whole
like
idea of Minecraft being like cross-plat between like people's
Everything.
phones and shit.
yeah, like
That is so cool, but so weird.
that is mind blowing. That like they could even do that.
Right?
Like all the different infrastructures are
Yeah,
going to
and-
come together.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's going to like kind of come online in waves.
Sure.
So that, it's
Yeah.
like you have like, Xbox and PC are going, and now the Switch is
Yeah.
in there, and now, here comes the Apple Store or something. So I'm sure it'll be
Yeah.
broken up. I can only imagine it would be, but
Yeah, I can't, like I'm sure there's going to be some hiccups and everything.
probably.
Like I don't expect this to be like a perfect system right out the gate, but what a thing.
Right?
Like
And I mean, I just want to like focus on the fact that like that's what I've always wanted gaming to be.
yeah,
Like I wanted it to be about the games,
yeah,
like not about like, oh well, I have PlayStation and it is better because blah, and then oh well, I have Xbox because it's better because blah, and oh well, I'm PC Master Race, ha 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 ha, you all have tiny penises, blah, like.
Yeah.
That's not what it needs to be about. Like,
Yeah.
it should be about the games, and I feel like that is what Minecraft is doing, and it's wonderful, and it needs to
Yeah.
happen everywhere with everything.
yeah, yeah. I mean it's. Yeah, I mean like that's a good way of putting it for sure. I don't think we're ever gonna get that far because console exclusives and everything. Although, like, I would love to open up the Gears of War community to the PlayStation crowd. That'd be great. More players.
Yeah,
But it's a Microsoft exclusive, so that's never going to happen. Also, Sony would never apparently play ball.
yeah.
And
They're
I
just like, no, man, you do you.
okay, so, like, I think that it makes... Okay, so, for clarity, like, Sony is not doing crossplay with. So Sony's Rocket League does crossplay with PC. So like that thing has happened, and it does work. But they apparently draw the line at entering Microsoft's ecosystem or Nintendo's ecosystem,
Yeah,
and their reasoning is that they want to protect children. Like, they've basically come out and said, like, there's a lot of young users that use our network, and we have a contractual obligation with them to protect them. Which is bullshit?
to put it lightly, yes.
Because,
I mean,
like,
it's-
okay,
especially because
No, hold on. When you log into an online game, right, there's a warning that says...
ESRB,
Yeah.
online interactions not rated by the ESRB.
So for the people who, don't know what the ESRB is, They're the ones that rate games in terms of like what age range it's appropriate for.
Yeah, at least here in America.
Yeah. And games that have online functionality will say ESRB ratings don't apply to online interactions.
Which totally makes sense because they can't control the people.
Yeah, like you're gonna go in and you're gonna like interact with other people, and they're going to say things about your mother that you don't want to hear. And
you're gonna have a 12-year-old talking about how much you eat dick and how he's gonna shit on your face and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and like you can't.
You're just gonna have to accept it.
And that like that's gonna be no matter what platform you're on. Like
yeah,
I like. It's written into the game code. Like they can't. They're saying that they're not protecting you from that.
Yeah.
And I think like there's something to be said for like, you know, you don't want any like hacking or anything to happen. Like you don't want to like introduce new threats. But if you're Sony,
I was gonna say, I feel like you're the one introducing the threats. You know,
like and again, for those who don't know, like Sony has had the like more high-profile hackings of like credit card information and stuff than any other console ever.
Yeah. I mean, Microsoft has had its security breaches as well.
Yeah,
but I feel like theirs are typically like, oh, they got a list of gamer tags and that's it, or something like that.
Ooh.
Not like, oh, well, they know where you live, what your birthday is, and they have your credit card information too.
I think like one Microsoft hack was pretty bad, but like for the most part, but like
it was
it's
also
like
a smaller pool of people. It was like 10,000 or something, not like everyone.
Yeah, like there was like. It hasn't happened as much recently, I don't think. I think the last couple of years have been pretty good for Sony. But, like, in terms of not getting hacked, which I guess is a statistic that we have to qualify.
You know, a good thing, I guess.
For the last 2 years, there have not been any major hackings. But, like, But, like, there was, like, a time, there was, like, a good 3-year period. It was, like, at least, like, 3 times a year where it was, like, oh, everyone has to, like...
You reset your password.
Wait, you might want to check your credit card information. Make sure
right?
And it's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. It's clearly like that excuse is, I think, like pretty clearly bullshit. I think it's a business thing where it's no secret that like Sony is winning this current generation of consoles. Like there's just more people have bought PlayStation 4s than Xbox Ones.
Yeah.
And like, you know, and obviously like the Switch is just behind because it's come out like, you know, 3 years later or whatever. So like they have no incentive to basically increase the player pool for other consoles to make that experience for them better.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you, like, Rocket League on the Xbox One has a pretty good player pool anyway. So, like, it's not a big issue. But, like, if there was ever to come a time where people just kind of, like, stop playing Rocket League, but you wanted to play Rocket League on your Xbox One console, matchmaking times would be higher.
Yeah.
But, like, on PlayStation, because there's more people with it, there's going to be more people playing. So you're going to have a better experience on PlayStation. And that makes sense to me from a business standpoint. I get it.
Yeah. It's Sony being worried about Sony, and that's it. Like, this is clearly a move that is 100% directed at Sony trying to essentially help their bottom line.
Yeah.
You know? Because I feel like if they had any sort of like
altruism,
yeah, good word. My sinuses are like killing me, so I'm thinking it's hard.
My nose hurts. I can't think.
Dude, I have such a sinus headache right now. You have no idea.
I know. Just the way you said it was kind of funny.
Yeah, my nose hurts. Meh. Anyways, so no, if Sony was like playing this game essentially for the players at all, then it would have been a no question. But clearly, like, Sony only really cares about Sony. And I mean, they are well within their rights to do so. But I feel like this is kind of one of those things that eventually is probably going to come back and bite them in the ass. You know, assuming they don't change their mind. Yeah,
they're probably like, I can't, like, assuming that crossplay is successful throughout, like, all the titles that are doing it. I imagine that at some point they're gonna be like, wait, guys,
bring us into this.
We're doing it. We're doing crossplay, and then everyone's gonna be like,
Sure you are. Now that it's making money, you're doing it. Yeah.
And I know, like, before we, started talking about this on podcast, you made the assumption that maybe, or not the assumption, but you postulated, another good word for you, that Sony just, its infrastructure couldn't handle it. But the Rocket League developers have come out and basically said that all Sony needs to do is flip a switch and it will work.
Oh, well, there you go.
I don't know how true that is. Like, I don't know, like, how... I assume that Psyonix knows because they did crossplay between PC and Sony. And Microsoft seems to think that they can just do it. Yeah,
well, I mean, I imagine a lot of the work is probably on the developer.
Yeah.
You know? But... like, the only reason I had said that to begin with was just simply because, like...
And this is where the flame war comes into play, guys.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, in a lot of ways, if you compare the Xbox infrastructure in terms of online multiplayer capabilities to the PlayStation infrastructure, PlayStation is almost always an entire console generation behind. Because, I mean, like, for the original Xbox and PS2 and everything, like, Xbox Live actually, like, it was set up, it was a thing, like, you know, everybody had usernames, all this kind of stuff, but PlayStation 2 Online was pretty much just kind of like you plug it in and it goes. Like, there weren't really accounts, you couldn't really have any sort of control over what was happening, that kind of thing.
That's a very important distinction, because you're kind of like, oh yeah, it plugged it in and it goes. Like, that's usually a good thing.
Well, but, like, yeah, but it was a very baseline experience, you know? And then, you know, like, the 360 and the PS3 come out, and Sony has done a lot better, but they still feel like they're lagging behind. Like, and I mean, again, like, I'm speaking as a person that, like, I own so many consoles, including a PlayStation 4, and I prefer to be on Xbox One because I feel like the infrastructure for the online environment and even the UI is better. And that's 100% preference. Like, everybody can have their opinions on that.
Yeah.
But had someone said, like, the Sony infrastructure just isn't set up to communicate across a broad spectrum of, you know, consoles, then I wouldn't have been shocked.
Yeah. I feel like I think Sony has actually caught up in terms of online functionality this console generation.
For the most part,
basically only because there's nowhere else for Xbox to really go. Like, well, they kind of...
I feel like Xbox still kind of takes the cake in terms of, like, party management and that kind of thing.
They're getting back to that. I think you're right. Like, they're better in a lot of, like, in terms of that kind of stuff. Like, but I think they took a huge step back from where they were with the 360. Just like adding unnecessary complications, and I think, like, they're starting to, like, get back to a much more simple thing. I mean, like, now it's only like one button press for everything.
Yeah, I mean, for like the friends list and everything, yeah, sure. But I feel like the party system on Xbox has always been, I don't know, a little more structured. What is happening on my TV?
What is happening on your TV?
I don't know. It went dark and I can't do anything. My controller's not responding. Awesome. Okay, well.
Great. I see you. So that's cool.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna continue with this.
Yeah.
Anyways, like I can see you, but it's like really dimmed. It's like someone put like sunglasses over my TV or something.
All right.
But no, I just feel like, especially with the like side menu and everything, the party system on Xbox One has always been a little more user friendly. You know, like I can pull up that side menu, see who's in my party and who's playing what, all that kind of stuff. Whereas on PlayStation, like I basically go back to the home menu and I manage everything there, and that's really clunky to me. Hey, it's back.
Hey. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean,
I think. Yeah, I mean, I think that like that's probably a preference. Like, I feel like people who like interact with the PS4 on like a daily basis, and like I feel like they probably are okay with all that.
Yeah. I feel like we're talking like the difference between like a fucking Camaro and a Mustang. You know?
Yeah.
Like they're like, yeah, they're different, but
yeah,
realistically, like from a 1,000-foot view or whatever, like they're pretty comparable. You know? Like,
yeah. Yeah, I think that like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like at this point there's no reason to be fanboy about anything. Like, not that there was to begin with. It's always just been preference, and it's like,
well,
and I've said it from the get-go that like the only reason why I have Xboxes is because my friends are in that ecosystem, and Gears of War.
Yeah.
Like, without those, or like whatever the case may be, like I would be just as fine with the PS4.
Yeah.
But for real, Gears of War, guys. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I have an Xbox is because for, God, going on almost 2 decades now, I guess, I've had, Xbox family consoles as my primary system, so that's where, again, a lot of my friends are, and it's also just what I know. And me personally, I can't handle the PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
And I know that the PS4 controller is a lot better. Like, I will undoubtedly agree with you that compared to the PS3 controllers, the PlayStation 4 controllers are like a gift from God. But it's something about the way my wrists end up sitting that after a while it just hurts. Yeah. And I don't get that with the Xbox controllers.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just like a muscle memory kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. The Xbox controllers, like I'm gonna be honest with you, the Xbox controllers are like the perfect controllers.
I mean, that has been argued by plenty of people in the past.
I know. And I'm gonna qualify that by saying that they're the perfect controllers for shooters. Because I understand that, like, I think for racing games, the PlayStation, I forget what genre, but one of them is, or the PlayStation 4 is better for that genre. I forget which one. Might be fighting games.
Probably fighting games, because the D-pad is, even playing field as the face buttons.
Yeah. So that's probably, yeah. I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm with you. Like, it fits better. My issue now is that, like, the new Xbox controller that, like, you got me for Christmas, which I love and everything, I fucking accidentally reloaded so many times.
Why?
Because, and like, it's not because of my claw grip, because my my friend that I play Gears with, he has the same thing happen, but for whatever reason, like, because like here I'm showing you in the screen, like this is where like the index finger naturally sits.
Move it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like this is like the natural place. It's like right on the bumper too, like.
Yeah.
So like if you're not careful.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. For me, that's honestly like a godsend. But I also don't play claw. So
Yeah, but even without claw, like it's still like
well, yeah, but that's why I like it, is because like I can literally just roll my knuckle and hit it.
yeah, but I get like. But
I've
like
never
in your
accidentally hit it.
I don't. Okay, well.
Yeah, it might just be you or something, or maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Like I know because
I
I
also
know that
don't play a lot of Gears, so
yeah, like I know that his controller is like the Xbox One S controller, and like this is like that same version.
yeah,
So maybe like the bumpers are a little more sensitive or something.
maybe that's always possible.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I mean, it's my personal favorite has always been the 360 controller. I've always said that like the Xbox One is just like a little too comfortable. Like
What?
it's just a little too comfortable. Like I can't explain it any better than that.
What does that even mean?
It just like it like I'm it just it fits too well. Like it's like too relaxing, which is good for like a single player game, but like
Do you need to like tape some razor blades to yours so you have to focus
maybe
more?
I don't like
what is your problem? I don't understand.
like I can't explain it, like other than like it fits my hands too well, so like it makes like moving my hand like I don't, it doesn't make sense, and I'm freely admitting that like what I'm saying now doesn't make sense.
Okay.
It's just how I feel. Like the 360 one was just like it was perfect. Like it had just enough like not comfortable to like keep your hands active, I guess. Like I feel like maybe like my hands just become too like like too settled, I guess. Maybe I don't know.
I think you're still alone on that one because I still don't quite understand what you're talking about.
I'm not gonna like try to like I'm not gonna try to defend myself. Like I get it, like, but just the layout's great on the Xbox controller. Like, or the Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Like, there's some different like form factor, but like the layout of the buttons is the same.
Yeah,
and it's perfect. And I feel like, and I like having actual triggers, not buttons.
Yeah, that's the part that always kind of bothered me about the PlayStation controllers, is that it's just like these half triggers.
Yeah. Even like, I think up until at least the PlayStation 2, they were still just buttons. They weren't even triggers. I think the PS4 is the only one that has the buttons. Might be the PS3 as well.
I think the later generation of PS3 controllers had the triggers.
Okay.
But they were not nearly as well designed. Like they curved inwards, so like if you set your controller down, it would like lean into it. And it would pull the triggers. Because clearly it was a well-tested controller.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, you don't want to accidentally pull triggers. Oh, man. But yeah, I don't know. Like, and the triggers on the PS4 controller just kind of feel kind of cheap.
Yeah,
it might just be because they're super small. And also, like, every PlayStation game, it's like, oh, it's a shooter? You're going to use the top buttons to shoot. And I'm like, no.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know why that's like the default for some shooters and everything. That's never made any sense to me. But I think that was also only PS3. I feel like PS4 now defaults to the actual triggers being...
Okay, well, good. Then. But I feel like in my experience it's all PlayStation shooters, but I'm not like well versed.
clearly you play a lot of PlayStation games with your Xbox.
Yeah. I feel like we got away from the crossplay topic as we entered the final moments of this podcast.
That's fine. What I want to see in like perfect world I know I kind of already touched on this earlier, but like a fucking MMO that anyways, what I want to see in like a perfect world is like an MMO that is cross-play between like all the consoles and maybe PC. I feel like that severely complicates it because they have, you know, way more keys and everything to bind abilities to and that kind of thing.
That would be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
would be.
That wouldn't work. Not with PC, because it would literally be like, all right, we're gonna do this raid, PC players only.
True.
And you're like, okay.
See, but I mean, yeah. I mean, that's like I realized that like as I was saying it, so
yeah. No, I got you.
That would be fair, but I don't know. I feel like just something, you know. Like,
yeah. I got you. I don't know. I think that there's room for more of it. I don't necessarily mind console exclusivity. I feel like it forces competition in a way.
Sure.
Like, because it's like, hey, we have this console exclusive now. Go ahead and match it.
Yeah.
And I think that like that's valuable in its own way. So I don't think that there needs to be a complete like a conglomerate of like infrastructures.
For sure.
I'm gonna say amalgamation instead of conglomerate.
Yeah, because I mean, I agree. Like, I feel like console exclusives are, you know, as terrible as they are. Like, again, they're kind of a necessary evil because, like you said, they force competition and that kind of thing. What I think needs to be done away with are things like everybody gets the game, but these people over here get something a little extra special.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
I feel like that type of behavior just needs to go away.
Including, but not limited to, pre-order exclusives from different retailers.
Yes.
Fuck that shit.
Like, pre-order exclusives, that's fine.
That's fine.
But, like, don't be like, well, if you do it from Target, you get this. And if you do it from GameStop, you get this.
And you'll never, ever be able to get these ever. Because fuck you.
Yeah.
That was the most... That's the thing that pissed me off the absolute most about Gears of War 3. There was, like, 4 or 5 really awesome pre-order exclusive characters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want all
Best
those.
Buy had one.
Yeah. I'm like, I want that. But I can't get it.
You just got to pre-order the game 5 times.
Yeah, okay. I'm on it. Yeah.
You're like, I would have.
I mean, I thought about... There was one in particular that I wanted. And I was like, I could get a second copy of the game. I was like, I could. I'm not going to. Not that. I didn't even order like the special edition.
Gears for 3, really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't need the statue, and then I ended up with the statue anyway. A few years later, Sam's brother was like, "I don't need this anymore. Do you want this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do."
yes, I do. And on the inside, you're just.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I have a place for that. And I'm like, all right, now I have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, Sony, please just join every.
Do the
like,
crossplay.
It doesn't have to be every title. Like, I don't feel like Rocket League is a title that is
yeah,
winning the console war for you. Like, I get it for maybe like Call of Duty, where it's a super massive title where you're trying to sell new copies.
Yeah, but I mean, also whatever. Call of Duty has exclusivity deals with Sony already,
I guess like what I'm saying is like I'm okay with the idea of like, okay, at launch, no, but when a game is like 2 years old, like Rocket League, just deal with it.
Yeah.
Or like Minecraft, which is like, fucking like 6 years old at this point, really.
Yeah.
Fucking deal with it. Just like,
yeah. Also, I mean, if your issue is simply that you want to feel like you can still provide an adequate service and, like protect your user and everything, then maybe what you should really be doing is looking at the safeguards that you have in place. Because I guarantee you that the PlayStation Online community is just as, if not more toxic than the Xbox One community.
I would argue that,
I don't mean that as like a slight to them. It's just pure volume.
Yeah. No, I'm sure that like, especially since I don't even, to this day, I don't even know like what like PlayStation Plus even means. Like, they've changed
the equivalent of Xbox Live Gold.
Yeah, but like, do you still get to play games online for free? If you,
no.
It's just like the PlayStation. Okay.
No, you have to have Plus now. It is literally Xbox Live Gold. Okay,
fine. Because I was gonna say like, I would say like it could even be more toxic because if people are online without like, if it's just like everyone who has a console can go online, then that's just like instant toxicity.
Yeah, no, PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold are now basically identical. I mean, there are obvious differences. Like the games with PlayStation Plus, you only keep them while you're a Plus member, and whereas with Gold, like you always have them, but they also have newer games.
Yeah,
so,
on PlayStation. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just what it is. So to be clear, before there is a flame word in the comments,
Flame War.
We love and respect all types of gamers.
Except you fucking mobile gamers, we hate you.
I was about to make that exact same joke. Thank you for doing it so that they can hate you, not me.
I mean, I play so many games on my phone.
Yeah, I do
too.
Yeah, it's just... Oh, man.
You know what I'm going to be playing on my phone soon is Elder Scrolls Legends.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because they're coming out with a mobile app. But that's completely off topic.
That is 100% off topic. I've been thinking about Gwent. I've been thinking I'm going to load that up on my PC at some point. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Sony, please. Like, do the thing.
Do it.
Hit the button. Flip the switch.
It's a button.
And we are going to see you guys next time on Split Couch Games.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.